Hi, good evening, everyone. Uh, uh, it's my honor to welcome all of you. It's a sizable crowd. We had uh, expected a little less numbers, but we are very happy to see so many of us gathered for this evening. Uh, so I am An Godiawala. I will be the moderator for the evening. And with us today, we have two extremely accomplished and elite athletes with us, Mr. Lihas Trivedi and Amit Bhattacharjee. Uh, I'll give a brief introduction to both of them. Of course, it will not do any justice to them because they are extremely accomplished, and this is just a tiny bit of their accomplishments that I will be listing. So, Mr. Lihas Trivedi is an accomplished triathlete and ultra runner. He made history at the first Ironman 70.3 from Gujarat alongside Dr. Jagat Patel in 2013. That same year, he became the first ultra runner from Gujarat to conquer the South Africa Comrades Ultra Marathon. He also achieved impressive milestones like being the first runner from Gujarat to finish the Singapore 100 kilometers in 2012 and completing the full circle of Ahmedabad Ring Road, which we don't even imagine to run on, to maybe travel on in our cars as well, in the same year 2012. In 2014, he set a new standard by being the first Indian to finish the Hong Kong 100 and the first person from Gujarat to complete the Nilgiri Ultra 100 kilometers. His accomplishments kept on adding, and in 2019, he became the first Indian ever to compete in the North Pole race in Finland, covering an astounding 105 kilometers. Alongside his pioneering accomplishments, Lihas Bhai also holds two Limca Book of World Records and one Guinness World Record. He has completed 10 races of 100 kilometers plus, 3 races 100 miles plus, and 2 races exceeding 222 kilometers, along with completing the Ironman 70.3 three times. And that are just a few of his accomplishments. Next with us, I will like to facilitate Lias Bhai with a small token of appreciation. Thank you, Lias Bhai. Next with us, we have Mr. Amit Bhattacharjee, also known as Dada. Uh, he is a passionate sports enthusiast since his childhood. About 11 years ago, he took up running to improve his fitness and manage his blood sugar levels. He participated in over 30 events and achieved consecutive qualifications for the Boston Marathon in 2019 and 2020. Dada's true passion lies in ultra distances, having completed races ranging from 50 kilometers to an impressive 400 kilometers. He earned his Boston qualification in 2018 in the IDBI Delhi Marathon and once again at the Adani Ahmedabad Marathon. In 2015, he completed his first 100 kilometers ultra at Bangalore, earning a second place in his age category. This is just the beginning. Uh, he ran the one of the most toughest ultra marathons of India, which was the Run the Run, which is a 100-mile run in 2016. And in the same year, he achieved, for which I believe yeah, he got the first place itself, right? In the in the Saputara, he finished the 100 kilometers at the first place itself. So that was a another achievement. In 2017, he embarked on an impressive 222-kilometer run from Ahmedabad to Mount Abu, and also completing it in a remarkable 39 hours. That is also an amazing achievement. Uh, More than that, he tackled the 220 kilometers Saputara race, Saputara 4.0, conquering elevations of over 16,000 feet and securing the first place there. Uh, I would like to facilitate Amit ji. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I invite Lihas bhai and Dada to the podium. Before we give the mics to the esteemed speakers, I would like to say that AMA has started this series and is trying to do more of sports seminars for a longer vision of the 2036 Olympics that we potentially might have in our country, and with Ahmedabad as its base. So AMA is trying to contribute as much as we can, and probably with this crowd of 50 plus people, in over 10 years we are trying to achieve more than 5,000 people if we can. I would like to hand it over to Lihas bhai and Dada for the time. Yeah.
So, thank you so very much for attending this session today. Uh, as rightly, said by Ann, that we are expecting Olympics in our state in the year 2036, and looking at the kind of prime minister we have got, it is definitely going to happen. So let us make our city one of the sports friendly city, and let us participate in such events. I would like to congratulate An, who is running for last 308 days. He has been running 10 kilometers every day, and that's a great achievement. And on 31st December, he is going to complete a full year. That's his, I think that was his last year's
New Year's resolution.
New Year's resolution. So that's a great beginning that he has introduced both of us. I'm so happy that a person who has taken up running is introducing us. We have a lot of runners over here, and I also can see a lot of new faces who are, wanting to attempt their first runs. Maybe a 5K, 10K, or a half marathon during this season, because we are approaching a marathon season now. And Ahmedabad has seen 3 events which has already been done in the month of September and October. There were 2 10K runs. Last Sunday we had one at Arvind Uplands. That was a 10-kilometer run. That was the season starting. That was the second run of the season. And now we are looking at the half marathons and the full marathons to come in the coming year, months in November, December, January, February. All the 4 months are having. So those who are yet thinking, they still have time to be a part of this, fitness culture. Do join in these runs after this session, because you will definitely want to do something regarding your fitness. Most of the people sitting here are doing some or the other kind of fitness. I can see a lot of them are from the running groups. Few of them are new to this, but I mean new to me, but of course they might be doing some of the other fitness activities. So today's session is about from strides to marathon, like how you can start approaching your running career or running goal by taking the first step and reaching a target of your 10K or a half marathon or a marathon during this coming season, and to continue it for lifelong. I have been doing this since 2001. I got my first opportunity to run a half marathon in the year 2004 when Mumbai Marathon was introduced in the city, in the country. And since then I have never stopped. I have run, I don't remember how many half marathons I have run, but I have run a lot of them, and I have done a lot of full marathons. So the journey began in the year 2001 with running the Motif 10K. It was always a Motif charity walk, but Kaushal Mehta being a runner himself, we had a special 10K run during those times. And that is how I started running the 10Ks and started doing more and more distances. So from 10K to half marathon and half marathon to a full marathon, the journey was that began in 2004. I think my first attempt at full marathon was in the year 2008, 7 or 8. And since then I have been, challenging myself over the distances. In the year 2010, we introduced the first event in our own city, the Sabarmati Marathon. And that was flagged off by now PM Mr. Narendra Modi, who was the CM then. In 2011, as he was, going through my resume, I first attempted that 100 kilometers run straight from 42 to 100. And I could finish it. So without even knowing how to attempt it. So everything and anything is possible for everybody sitting over here who is attending this program. Speaking about how to go about your journey of running and how to start, the first thing you have to do is don't only get up with the pushing of the alarm to stop, but get out of the bed. That is the most important thing. Once you get out of the bed, you need to wear your running shoes and get ready. If you do this, I'm sure you all are going to achieve whatever you dream for. This is the most difficult part. I think my co-colleague will also agree on this. What do you say?
Yeah, that's a trigger point actually. That's where your, what do you call, yeah, like electricity meter जो चालू होता है, like the meter starts rolling, then your gas commuter starts rolling only when you actually get up, so from your bed in the early morning. So that's.
So I wanted him to pitch in because that is something which we all have started. Every day, even today, I feel that I don't want to go for my run. And it's a very human thing, not to go. But to go is something which you really have to make a point, like he's been making a point since last 308 days, that you have to get up and come what may. There is a person in Ahmedabad who has been running for 2.5 years. Just imagine. 2.5 years and every day half marathon. So once you decide what you want to do, I think nothing can stop you. You all are doing in your own way, maybe for your own careers, for your own goals. But make sure that fitness is one of your goals in daily life, that you have to do something about it. So coming to how do we start about, the goal of running and achieving what you have set as a goal, you have to take a step by step. Most of the people sitting here, I don't know, but everybody sets a goal of a half marathon straight away. When they start running, they straight away want to do a half marathon. I don't know why. What is the reason behind it? I don't know. When somebody says that I'm doing a 5K, I've seen people laughing at them. And I don't even imagine why they are doing so. Because if you see the Kenyans and Ethiopians, they cannot move to a distance beyond 5K unless they perform their best in that particular segment. Say if my coach is saying me to do 5K in 17 minutes, if I don't achieve that, I'm not allowed to do 7K. And if I don't do 7K in the timings what my coach has given or what is my goal, I'm not allowed to do a 10K. Here people think that if you do a 5K, it is just for fun. Yeah, it is fun. It is a part of your fun, because if you don't consider your fitness as a fun, you will not love it. So you have to have that goal at every step. A 5K goal, once you do it, then only you go to the second goal, that is 10K. Once you are done with your 10K goal, then you go for a 15K, I would say, not a half marathon. There is no 15K race, but you do your own 15K. Once you achieve that, the half marathon is like a cakewalk. I'm telling you, it will be just a cakewalk. You just can do whenever you want. If you do a 15K in a good way, half marathon you can achieve any day. So just get it out of your mind that and get out of that rat race of doing a straight away half marathon, because I have seen a lot of people doing their first half marathon and forgetting running forever. Why? Because they come across an injury, they come across something which stops them from loving running. And I don't want that to happen with any of you. I have got many established runners over here. They would have also probably thought of doing half marathon as their first race, which is wrong. I also did a lot of running of 5K and 10K. When I was running, there were no races of 5K and 10K. But when I got introduced to half marathon, I did consistently many half marathons first, and then gradually, went on to do a longer distance. So I think, yeah, that is what I wanted to have my starting statement. And over to him. He probably might want to add a little to this.
Uh, I just wanted to ask, like, I would like to make it a little more interactive. So, how many new runners, completely new? If you can raise your hands, like, if completely new. Yeah. So we have good numbers of new runners. So I think what Lihas was saying, it is very, very important for you, because that's where the actually things are very important, because you can't just it's like like going to school. You can't go to 10th standard without going to the first standard, it's like that. So you need to be very particular, very systematic in your approach, and then you will enjoy. Like, so when you go to the 10th and then you actually give your exam, then you come out with good results. So it is not that ki main seedha 10th pe jaake, and then so that's one thing. So I just wanted to thank you for coming, because you will be the future. Now coming to the main subject, like I was discussing with the core team of AMA just now, and I had a goosebump kind of like the way they are trying to promote this event. I mean, this is going to be a regular thing, sports promotion of sports from AMA, because this is happening first time, and we are really thankful that, I mean, and that's the most important thing. And the goal of the goal what they are having is, like, when we actually host, we are so confident that Ahmedabad is going to host the Olympics. So I'm very confident about that. So 2034 is what is we are going to aim. So by then, I mean, we'll have a massive crowd. So awareness of sports, overall sports will also happen. I mean, today we are talking about marathon and all. There will be other sessions, other sports. So I think that culture will come in. So it's a very it's a painful process. It's a painful process, like just like our running also. Like initially it is very tough, and then you go achieve something. So for them also it will be a very painful. So we need to support them, and we need to also ensure that we come and support them and take this forward. So coming to what I need to add, I think what Lihas has covered a lot of things on the races. So you need to ensure that, as you said, like you need to improve your 5 kilometers, 10 kilometers timing. So what I would like to also add is, I always feel there is an emotional part to it. Like there are a lot of people I work with I'm not a coach, I'm not a certified coach, but I do a lot of hand holding to a lot of runners. So what I tell them is, you need to have an emotional connect. So that's the best thing. So like new runners, you need to have an emotional connect, because what Lihas has triggered is like सुबह उठना है. Now मेरे लिए आज सुबह भी मैं दौड़ने जा रहा था, तो हमारे एक ग्रुप है, because we are now getting ready for one very important event, 100 kilometers in Singar and all. So it's a very tough course, जो शिवाजी का 4 forts it gets connected. So it's a ultra distance trail, बहुत tough है. So today morning हम लोग सुबह 5 बजे दौड़ने वाले थे, तो किसी ने उसमें लिखा I'll be starting at 5:15. So I was thinking, why not start with him, So that is how your but if your goal is strong, like if you want, but I reached at 5. So it will be there will be very tough days. Like मेरे लिए भी बहुत tough होता है, like every day going out and running. It's like, but if you have a goal, or if you have a vision, long-term vision, like I want to reach there, then everything, sab kuch, it will fall into place. It is like You have seen like all the successes which is there in Jiska Bhi Aga, Dhirubhai Ambani and all. They had that vision clear. So this is also not that big a vision. Like I'm not talking like monetary and all those stuff. But if you have a clear-cut vision, this is a very good example. Small-scale vision where you have like 2 years, 3 years plan. Then actually you can reach that. So even if you have a very bad thought, कि नहीं मेरे को रात को सोया नहीं, I need not go. I have a lot of excuses not to go. But then that dream will force you to go out. I mean, that's the most important thing I always tell. So, you will get up before your alarm bell rings. So that's the kind of subconscious mind starts working for you. So your mind is the most important. Marathon, आपको सबको पता ही है. It's like more of mind game, like whatever Lihas has achieved. I mean, he's the first guy to achieve a lot of things, and then we are the followers, kind of. So it is basically mind. Lihas is basically mind. So he doesn't. I mean, I've seen him race, I've seen him run. So even if he's completely physically out, when he created that Limca Book of Records, I was there with him. So entire 25 hours. So he was completely physically out, but mentally he was able to take it forward and then do it. क्योंकि उनका vision was clear. Even he was sure that he want to achieve. So point is, it is more of mental. You know, marathon running is anything beyond 5 kilometers is mental. So you need to, I mean, new runners especially, you have to work on that. Some vision, some kind of thing. So I don't know how to take it forward. Do you want to have questions or whatever?
Sure. Just to brief what we have heard so far. Firstly, as Lihas Bhai has rightly told, please don't move to the 21 kilometers or 42 kilometers goal directly. Think about small distances, 5, then 7, then 10, then 15, and so on. I think it is a very, very valid point, because once I started, I also had the first thing that I will run a half marathon, as very, very rightly said. Then I started running every day, and then I realized that it is not about the distance, it is more about the time. Then I realized that doing longer times than more than the distance is what makes a better impact in your life. So you put your watch at home and just run for 2 hours. That is a better thing to do than running 21 kilometers or 42 kilometers or whatever distance. The second thing which they have rightly said, that Lihas Bhai rightly said, that Amit Bhai also said, that waking up first thing in the morning, putting your shoes and taking the first step has actually been the very, very perfect thing for me also. But until I put the first step, I am extremely demotivated most of the times. After I put the first step, of course, I am not going to go back at my place and untie my shoes. That is going to be a bigger demotivation for me not to run. So just taking the first step is definitely all that you have to aim for. You don't have to think that tomorrow morning I have to run 10 kilometers. You have to probably think that tomorrow morning I have to put on my shoes and go out. So that will be a much more important thing. And I have one question which Dada also rightly pointed out, that everyone says that marathon, at least full marathon, is much of a mind game than a physical game. Now every athlete now has something to look forward to when the physical aspect of a marathon is considered. But everyone is still confused how to train this mind. So we would like to know a little bit about that if it is a 50-50 thing, physical as well as mental, what do you do to train the mind in that 50% that it will help you achieve along with your physical fitness?
So, see, most of my runs or most of the goals I have achieved is training because of the strong mindset. I am not, between us, I'll first let me differentiate between two of us sitting over here. I am not a regular runner. Seriously, I am not a regular runner. Like I am not a 365-day runner or a 5 days a week runner. I'm being very open and honest about it. Why? Because people have different choices how to, go about it. When I set a goal, then I become a regular runner, and then my focus is totally on that goal. If I set that I have to create or I want to do a certain distance, say for example, I want to do a 100-kilometer race. Then from that day onwards till that race, I am totally focused. And that is the reason that I have been able to achieve whatever I have been able to achieve. But there are people who are very meticulous about their running 5 to 6 days a week, and that training goes on all year round. So there are two different sets of people. There are people like me and there are people like Amit, who both are right in their own ways. Why? Because I have my set goal and standard what I want to achieve, and I focus when I am on that goal, or for that matter, for that particular achievement. Whereas the standard thing is that you have to have a 4 days of training in a week. And out of that, it could be 2 days of running, 1 day of strength training, 1 day of yoga, something like that. Or maybe you can extend to 5 days later on. But to start with, 4 days of training is required. That's the minimum possible thing which you want to have, which you have to do. And for that to train your mind, you have to, set up the things. Like, say for example, you want to run a marathon, a 10K distance in December. We are in the first week of November. There are 8 weeks. How do you decide that how you're going to achieve that 10K? I assume that you are a starter. You are just doing, say, about 25-30 kilometers in a week, in 4 days of a week, right? So what you need to do is that you do break up everything. Like 20 kilometers per week, you have to set your goals. So that means 5 kilometers for 4 days. That makes 20 kilometers. And that you continuously start doing from today till November end. Then you start focusing on a speed little bit. First thing is achieve your target of 20 kilometers. Then you will focus on speed in that particular week of December and ensure that you are getting better. Once you get better with your speed, peak in the second week of December by doing about, say, 30-35 kilometers. And then start tapering. You are ready for your 10K race in the last week of December. That is how you plan your, journey of 10 kilometers. But you need to get started, and then you have to completely focus on your training. If you miss out on your trainings that इस week में यार ठीक है यार दिवाली थी दो बार नहीं किया ट्रेनिंग तो चलेगा, then you are not going to achieve what you want to achieve. आज लेट नाइट हो गई बिकॉज ऑफ फ्रेंड्स, ये सब होता ही रहता है. सो बेसिकली यू हैव टू मेक श्योर के इवन विद दैट हाउ यू आर वेरी मच फोकस्ड ऑन योर ट्रेनिंग पार्ट फॉर दिस पर्टिकुलर गोल ऑफ योर्स. So that is where your strong willpower, strong mindset comes into play. What I am talking about, what he was talking about, my strong mindset is about the goals which are beyond long distances, like 100 kilometers plus. There your body is definitely going to get tired, but your mind is going to play the game. It is going to go through all the emotions of your life, all the happy, sad, emotional, everything you are going to pass by, and still you are keeping yourself going. That is where you have to develop that strong mindset. It happens slowly and steadily, that with each goal you have set, it is going to happen. That first goal of 10 kilometers you have achieved 15, 21, 42, 50, 75, 100. It slowly grows and grows and grows. And of course the training which you have set for that. So these all things put together will give you the whole story, what we are talking about, the whole mindset story, that yes, now I am getting ready for bigger and better. I have in front of me Dr. Bhaskar, who is sitting over here. I think I have seen him growing day by day over the years. And now he has set his goal for a ultra marathon. So over the years, first training for a 10K, half marathon, full marathon, and now, going for an ultra marathon. So it's a continuous process. Every time your mind, keeps extending with your, goal achievement. So that is how I think the whole mindset game plays.
Very true. Basically focus and consistency. Dada, can we know your journey from not running to Boston qualifying, because Boston qualifying is something which every new and amateur runner always has in the back of his head, that someday I want to, probably even me, to have that target, that someday I want to qualify for a Boston. Even if I don't want to go to Boston and run, but at least I want to qualify for a Boston.
Well, I think the basic thing is like uh, as I was saying initially, सबसे important चीज़ है कि your dream it has to be जो possible नहीं है ऐसा कुछ dream करना चाहिए, मतलब you should not dream कि जो possible है, so it has to be something out of the box, out of everything. So जैसे मैंने Boston का भी जब भी सोचा था, तो I was also not confident कि मैं this would happen with me, but I started talking about it. That's how I find that that's the best way to do it actually. Talk about it, put it in the social media, and then what happens, you become accountable to yourself. The day you become accountable to yourself, everything falls into place. So point is accountability khud ke saath, that is where you then you become you slowly grow. And then again, for Boston qualification and all, you need to be a very structured. ऐसा नहीं कि मतलब हाँ मैं कल जाके Boston qualify कर लूँगा. It is not possible because there is somebody out here who's targeting in January, but we are seeing to it कि होगा कि नहीं. But still is it is something which is possible, but it takes a lot of effort, lot of time, lot of focus. So and then most importantly, जैसे मैंने बोला, emotional connect. So if you have a very strong emotional connect, then it becomes much more easier. So my achievement was that like I wanted to do a Boston qualification, and I was talking about it, and then I had put it in Facebook, social media कि I want to do Boston. All my goals have been achieved that way. The first I still remember, मैंने जब यहाँ से Mount Abu दौड़ा था, तो it was 220 kilometers. Like I know a lot of BRM used to have. आप लोगों को पता होगा, there is a cycling event which happens, you know, BRM करके है, and then they used to have that 200 kilometers race. I mean BRM. So from here they used to go to Mount Abu. So I said, why not run the distance? So that's where my first trigger came to my mind कि यार मेरे को दौड़ के करना है. So then one day I was going with my family for a holiday in this Mount Abu, and then on the road, in between we were having breakfast, and I put it on social media, I'm going to run this distance. So that's where it became a kind of a accountability for me कि नहीं मेरे को तो अभी करना ही पड़ेगा. So when I decided that, then it at that point of time it was not at all possible. आपका जो भी goals होंगे आप देखोगे ना, even 10 किलोमीटर है, 5 kilometers, I mean you will feel कि possible नहीं लगेगा initially, but as you consistently pursue it, अभी नहीं तो कल तो होना ही है. But your dreams to be it has to be very strong. So I could, that's why I achieve it, because Boston qualification is not that easy, but I could do it, and I got a very good timing also. So it was just because my mind was slowly understanding कि नहीं, it's possible, it's possible, it's possible. Only through my continuous training, consistently मैं training कर रहा था, and then it looked easier. And then finally एक समय ऐसा आया कि हाँ Boston तो हो ही जाएगा. So now, so that will come, but you have to be going after that dream. So dream should be very, जैसे मैंने पहले बोला, it has to be abnormal, ऐसा कुछ abnormal होना चाहिए, and then you should pursue that. It will happen.
Thank you so much. Just for some context, Boston qualification is running a full marathon in less than 3 hours, which is
just to correct you, it is like different age categories are there.
Yes.
So for you maybe it is 3 hours. So for me it was at that point of time 3 hours 25 minutes. So it depends on the age. So there are age categories, and Boston again, it is something which is considered as the mecca of all marathon events. So to qualify that, for that also is very tough. And then if you qualify, it is not that you will get an entry there, because there are competition across the world. So that's how it is.
That is a pace of about 4 minutes and 20 seconds per kilometer. Try to run 1 kilometer at that pace if you just want to get some context. Moving on, I had a few questions that people keep asking me regarding even some of the people who keep on have been running for a couple of years. That it is said that negative splits are better for a marathon, running the second part of the marathon faster than you run the first part of a marathon. So when training, people are not able to achieve this, probably due to lack of consistency or something. So is there any particular way that would help runners achieve a negative split? And probably negative splits are better to considering that it will prevent injuries and it will give you a better form in the long run as well. So and first of all, is it better to run in a negative split, or what are your views around that?
So I'll answer this.
Yeah.
I'll answer this.
Yeah.
I'll hand over to Lihas. So this is something very important, because there is a very important question: negative splits and positive splits. What is negative splits? For example, we talk about full marathon. Agar maan lete, to that is 42 kilometers, right? So 21 kilometers plus 21 kilometers, half marathon. So negative split is first part 21 kilometers you run slow, and second 21 kilometers you run fast. Similarly, 10 kilometers agar kar rahe, to 5 kilometers you are running slower than your last 5 kilometers. So that is negative split. So positive splits is like you run your first half faster than your second half. So to answer your question, I mean, that's very important. It's every individual is different. So there are runners who can do a very good positive splits. There are runners who can actually do a very good negative splits. And there are runners who actually can do a very uniform kind of a split. So in my case, if you ask me, it is more of, I would like to maintain that pace throughout. So that is how I normally do full marathon or whatever distance. So individually, every runner is different. So you have to find out what actually suits you. What you are able to do. But negative splits is possible. See, positive splits is ekdam simple. Agar language में बोलूं, negative splits में it's possible if your training has been very good. अगर आपका training अच्छा रहा, then only you can have a very good negative split. Because negative split मतलब क्या हुआ? आपका second part you are trying to run faster. So that's where you are spending more of your energy. Agar fast half, so if your training has been good, then you actually can do a very good negative split. So it depends, as I said. So Lihas, you want to add?
Yeah, so most of it is talk technical. Simple language में आप जब start करते हो तो your body is still warming up. Of course you do the warm up, but the first few kilometers, say for example we are doing a 10K, the first few kilometers, the first 3 kilometers if my target is set at say 60 minutes, then the first 3 kilometers I would like to run at 6.25, 6.15 like that. Then the fourth and fifth kilometer I would just go near to that 6-minute target. And the rest of the 5 kilometers, if you are stored in your energy, because as he rightly said, you need to train for that. If you are stored with your energy, the last 3 kilometers can be your fastest. So those people who you see finishing their races, there are a lot of races you must have seen, 41 kilometers tak there was another person who was leading, and the last kilometer that other person takes the podium. So that happens when he has the store of energy. So that is what actually the negative split he has trained for, that he can keep the pace with the other runners, but when it is needed the most, he can pull through with his energy. So that is where the negative splits help. And most of the marathons I have been seeing on Olympic and everywhere else, the people who pull it in the last 500 meters and 1 kilometer. They just go through the other competitors and they leave them behind by even 500 meters at the last. So negative splits, of course, would help you if you train for that and if you have the storage of that energy. How you consume your calories all through the race. So that is also important, yeah.
Thank you so much. One question that I believe that probably everyone in the crowd who is a beginner might have is that it is a very, I don't know if it is a true or a false assumption, that running makes your knees weak. I've heard it a lot. That so one is that running in itself makes your knees weak. Second is that running form, if it is wrong, then it makes your knees weak. So what do you think that a beginner runner should know before starting a run, just to avoid that kind of injuries which are preconceived?
I have stopped talking about it, but now I'll speak about it. I started running after a knee injury. I met with an accident when I was 20, and my whole kneecap was displaced. And at those times, the knee surgeries were not so good as it is today. અને હું લંગડાતો હતો. I was actually, હું લંગડાતો હતો એટલે proper લંગડાતો હતો while I started my running. That is how I started running. And anybody and everybody who saw me running would ask me this question, કે તમે લંગડાઓ છો કેમ? And that is how I started my running career. અને I kept on improving my own. ત્યારે ફિઝિયોથેરાપિસ્ટ પાસે જવાય કે શું કરાય એવું બી ખબર નહોતી. I kept on running, I kept on running. And a day came that everything, I never get a pain now. I'm talking about 1990. Today we are sitting in 2023. And since then, I have been only and only talking about to everybody. There is a very good friend in our running group who is a knee replacement surgeon. I mean, nanpadna friends here. And he was never into running, and he was really stuffy. I'm talking about Amit Sanghvi. And he used to say, whenever I go to him, he would say, Lihas, tu band kari de dodvanu. And today he is one of the best runners in our group. And now, anybody gets a knee issue, we send him to that person to him only. Because he is the doctor who has gone through all this from the fat to fit story. Now he says that nobody should stop running. Yeah, he should stop running for a while he is going through the injury, but not for life. And because of that, I say that those who are into running, just show me. આટલા લોકો બેઠા છે ને કે જેના ઘરમાં રનર છે એણે ની રિપ્લેસમેન્ટ કરાયું છે? Just raise your hand. It is the other way around. જેના ઘરમાં રનર નથી એ લોકોના જ ની રિપ્લેસ થયા છે. Yeah, so he's 70 plus, and he's running every day 10 kilometers. There is one another doctor, Dr. Oza. He does a triathlon every day. He swims, he cycles, and he runs. So those who are into fitness are never going to be under the unless and until he goes under a sports injury or something. That's a different thing. But they are the rarest of the rare who are going to face the running. And another thing which you are talking about, the form of the technique, if it is wrong, of course you will go through the injury.
Yeah, so I think everything is answered by so
Yeah,
it's like
because it was my
we have
own case,
involved a
so-
doctor also, so it is clear कि एक doctor ने को भी I mean so मेरा जो favorite है, I always tell like if you ask Dr. Amir Sanghvi is one of the best orthopedic surgeon of Ahmedabad, and he's a runner as so if you ask him, he'll say कि आज तक मैंने कोई runner का knee replacement नहीं किया. So just think he does average 7 to 8 operations every day, or more, I don't know. Maybe. So even then he doesn't have such kind of situation. So so it is very rare. I mean, so knee actually doesn't happen. So you need to, but there are other injuries also which is there, which comes because of running. But if you do proper strengthening and you actually gradually start your running and all those stuff, so I mean your miles increase slowly, then those injuries also will never come. So and there are researches also which is shown that the fluid content which is there, for runners are more than normal people, because we are actually utilizing it daily. So when it is utilizing, so your brain gets a signal कि boss मेरे को यहाँ पे थोड़ा सा fluid और डालना पड़ेगा, oiling चाहिए. So brain also works accordingly. So it is not that it'll so if you are not using those parts of your body, then it starts to deteriorate. So that's how it's the opposite actually.
And of course, strengthening is a must for a runner. I know, including me, most of the runners do not do much of strengthening. That is a must for every runner who is new. Please make sure that with your runs, you also include the strength exercise. It's a very much needed thing. And with your growing age, it is a must thing. If you are doing strength exercise, resistance exercise, you are going to have a, proper muscle, and you are going to have a better life as compared to the other individuals who walk like this. You must have seen people in their menopause, I mean the ladies especially, because of the calcium deficiency. It happens that in one of the knee, you calcify and start walking like that. But basically strengthening of your muscles and the resistance exercise is a must for everyone.
Thank you so much. I think it makes sense. Yeah, sure.
Have some practice, then which are the surfaces, because we have to either run on the corporation roads, or there is a riverfront sports complex is newly opened, but there is also a concrete surface, and only one, at least even not with 1 PVC something carpet or like that is there, and there are no such other grounds. If we have gardens, lots of gardens, but all the surfaces of gardens are not so much, they are with this
uneven.
So if it happens that you may break something or you may have some injury, so on which surface we should practice in regular?
It's a very valid question. Road is the best to run. Why I am telling you, most of the marathon happens on road, and most of the runners are road runners. The best is actually the trail running, but it really requires a lot of practice. And trail running is definitely a technical thing also. But road running is the best. Apno જે ડામરના રોડ હોય છે, they are the good surfaces. Not on the asphalt I am talking. Cemented roads પર દોડવાનું નહીં. There will be a jerking. See, jerking is everywhere. And if you are a heavy body, upper body is heavy, then it definitely is going to put a toll on your knees. But road is a good surface to run. If you have good garden where you have a good track, that is also a good place to run. Asphalt and cement roads you must avoid on a daily basis. Once in a while, during the race, if you are running, that's okay. But otherwise, normal you should always avoid that. Yeah, of course. I mean, riverfront has both the roads. Concrete છે ને થોડો ટાર રોડ કદાચ કસે છે તો it's complete concrete. Yeah. So complete concrete. That road you should avoid. Walking માટે it's okay, but not for running.
Sports complex. So on this platform or from this room, if somebody is, I am also some resource, but we should compel or do some follow-up with this corporation authority. There should some good surface. They tell it that it's a jogging track, but it is not good as per you suggest.
Yeah.
And what about the competitive runners? For some persons who are in 100-meter sprint, then they have to practice on only CN track or university track? Where?
Yeah, there are no synthetic tracks, you're right. There is a lacuna. Now they are coming up. They have started doing 1 or 2 synthetic tracks.
Even
and of course,
urban tracks are also only with CN or some university.
yeah, so that's a totally different game. You're talking about is athletics. We are talking about long distance running, which usually happens on road. I think you would agree with me.
So the most important thing यहाँ पे जो है ना, that's the it's a very if you go to Mumbai, like Mumbai has the maximum numbers, right, of runners, and they are forced to run on RCC road because it's all concrete road. आप अगर मुंबई जाएंगे, so there are ways of tackling it. So I also, as Lihas suggested, it has to be like asphalt is good. Asphalt में देखा गया है कि less of injury chances are there. So and it is not only knee, मतलब knee का आप लोग गलत फहमी है because that is wrong. As I said, there are other injuries which also happens. So it is like which are more critical than knee का होता नहीं है इतना. So I'm not sure. But at the same time, if your most important thing which I would like to demonstrate here is your posture. So how is your posture? So that's if your posture is correct, So any surface actually you can actually manage. So I'll just show the posture so that for the new runner especially it's very important because बहुत ज़्यादा किताबी नहीं करते हैं and just I'll just show. So it's like point is we call it there's a technology which is there's a chi running which some of you must be knowing. So chi running is technology which talks about you changing your center of gravity. Like your center of gravity, like I'm standing here, my center of gravity is here, right? So कोई science student है तो they will understand. So अगर मैं थोड़ा सा आगे गया तो my center of gravity is moving little ahead. So when I'm moving it ahead, two things are happening. Two things. One is like I'm automatically being gravitational force मेरे को खींच रहा है. So I'm about to fall. That's one. Second is your knees will never be exposed. That's the most important thing I want to show. So now if your body is little lean, so even if you try to land, knee gets injury कब पता है? When you actually force like this and then your body is behind and then the entire pressure comes on the knee. So if your posture is little like just little bit on the front, so even if you try, you will never land on your so your body will take the load. So automatically knee पे जो injury का आप बात कर रहे हैं वो नहीं होगा. And at the same time, because of gravitational force, your effort of running will also come down because your gravity is going to push, मतलब खींचेगा. So it's called controlled falling. So you are falling and then you are running. So automatically your knee will never be exposed. So I just thought it is better to demonstrate that way. So the surface is very important. Soft surface is the best place to run. And one more thing is like there is your landing. So there are two types of landing which is acceptable in running, in marathon running. One is your toe landing. It is lot of runners are naturally toe runners, so you don't disturb because there are it's acceptable. And other ideally book में बोलता है कि you have to land on your feet. So these are the two important things which you need to ensure. When you are landing on your hill, so you are actually creating a jerk which is going to hit your knee. Yes, right? So that's very important. So you need to ensure your landing is proper and so any surface you can actually.
Basically, everybody does a mid-foot landing, which is okay. Toe running is something which is gifted runners have it. But otherwise, it is the mid-foot landing where you don't jerk your knee much.
So your momentum also will be on the front. It will always be. So if you're landing on your heel, so you are actually
heel is the worst one. Yeah. Then you will definitely injure yourself.
Yeah.
Basically, I think that's what they call the natural form of running. Yes. And I think now many of the people have started barefoot running for the same purpose.
Yeah, so barefoot actually helps. It will ensure that you land on your meat feet.
Exactly. The natural style of running. Barefoot, generally you will not be able to land on your heel because of the less cushion, and it is difficult to put a heel on your barefoot itself.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. We can take the questions from audience now, if there are any. Please. Sure, please. I can pass the mic to you. Just a second.
It's okay here, no? No, mic is working here. What I'm going to say, I'm not a runner, and marathon is a dream. I cannot even dream so in the wildest of my dreams. But a few things I can say that would be something like a conclusion of what they have been speaking to you. First thing is, and maybe at my age sometimes I forget names, but I do remember the facts. So somebody said that if you are running in Olympics, 200 meters, 300 meters, then the first 100 meters, when you run, it is the training that you have been given how to balance yourself, how to position yourself so that you can start very easily and run. The second lap of the running is your physical fitness and training. Your energy, your stamina, your physical fitness, that makes you to go ahead. And the third lap, as many of them said, that's in the mind, that is the spirit that makes you run. You forget about your pain, you forget about everything in surrounding, you simply see the final line. You don't remember anything, who is by your side, who is behind you, who is in front of you, but still you run. That is the third lap of the run in case of this short run. I don't know about the marathon, but somebody even marathon said that no, negative running or that positive or something like that. It is something like cricket. You have to decide when to score more and when to score less. Because who is the bowler who want to finish it up? You want to finish up the bowling of a terror bowler and you don't score, but you just avoid them, make him finish up his runs, overs. And in certain periods of time, you have to score, 20 runs and over. So marathon also, when you run, it is you who have to decide, depending upon all these conditions they have enumerated, that depending upon the conditions, you decide when you should run fast, when you should slow down, when you give some rest to your body, and when you would like to make yourself, means you drink water or something like that, you need to energize yourself. So this is the second thing. Third thing is, Henry Ford once very rightly said that if you think you can or you cannot, you are always right. What he said is, if you think you can, then you are right. But if you think you cannot, then also you are right, because your mind has accepted the defeat. Your mind has accepted the defeat. So when you think that I cannot do this, don't do it, because you can't do it. And the mind game, what he said is, yes, that is the most important factor in life. That everything in the world, it depends upon the mind. But before that, I speak about the mind. In marketing, many of us, you have been taught in marketing that needs and wants. Need is something, okay, I need a television. But I want, that means it is a little more powerful need or requirement, and I desire. I would suggest some of you to read a book that Think and Grow Rich or Think and Achieve Anything by Napoleon Hill. Yes. So the third thing is that you desire. When you desire, then your mind controls you. Your mind is like a wife, I would say. There are two types of wives. One who will motivate you, that you go ahead, yes, you can achieve. And the other wife is a nagging wife. Why, let others run? Why do you want to just waste your time on this? So when you are on the negative side, when the negative wife is ruling over you, then you said, okay, I don't want to run. There is nothing in it. Out of, say, 140 or 1.4 billion of people, how many are running? So I don't want to run. You don't run. Do something better. But, yes. But the positive wife will say that, yes, you can kill a lion if you want to. Go and hit it. Do it. Just do it. So that is mind. And particularly the right prefrontal mind is always, gives you ideas, gives you desire, gives you something to achieve. So when you train your mind, sometimes by meditation or sometimes by just telling yourself, that is self-talk. Yes, we can. That is, yes, I can do it. Yes, I can do it. And I have. And third thing is perseverance. Perseverance is very important in life because most of the people, when they're about to strike the gold, they just turn back. There are very good examples when you are just about to be successful and you think, now I'm tired. And you just turn back, just a few feet away, a few feet down the earth, there is gold. But because you do not persevere, you leave it. And somebody finds it immediately. So that is, that example is there inside. So best thing is that mind game, mind is most important, that controls you, or you control your mind the other way, and make it happen. If your mind says no, then you can't. So think, in all aspects of life, and particularly in marathon, try to control your mind, try to say that yes, you can, and try to just develop a positive, totally positive habit of being able to do it. Yes, I can do it. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. That was very, very wise.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I happen to be this gentleman's son.
Amazing, amazing. More than running, he has given us a lot of motivation other than that also. We can take more questions.
Actually, not a question, but I would like you to talk about the hydration and nutrition part of this running fitness.
Okay.
These are the two most
Yeah, so hydration and nutrition is also, I mean, this is part and parcel of running marathon, jo bhi karna hai. So, two things are, these are two different things. Hydration is ek hua and then nutrition is different. So, hydration, I mean, basically is because that is normally is during the race. So, it is like how you actually hydrate during the race. Even when you are not racing, there are certain aspects like I was just sharing today, we were discussing meat and all we were discussing. So I take magnesium almost every night. So it's something which is also a kind of a hydration, which is my mineral, which is required for my recovery and all the stuff. So, but basically hydration is very important because you are losing a lot of calories, you are burning out a lot of. So training में क्या होता है? See, training में you will be actually losing a lot of calories. So you will be losing minerals, you will be losing a lot of carbs, you will be losing protein. So you need to actually. So I always give it as an example of a car. You know, car अगर चला रहे हैं तो कार में diesel is required, right? So diesel car है, तो diesel के साथ you will also need to have all those lubricants and all those stuff. अगर वो सब नहीं होगा, then automatically your car will actually come to a stop और या उसका efficiency नहीं आएंगे. So to get the maximum efficiency, you need to actually fuel yourself. हम लोग खाना क्यों खाते हैं? I mean, that's a basic question I normally ask people. हम लोग खाते हैं इसलिए नहीं कि just to enjoy or anything. We are trying to fuel ourselves. हम लोग हमारे शरीर को fueling कर रहे हैं. We are trying to fuel yourself. Although ठीक है आज के दिन में बहुत सारे different खाना आ गया, but actually खाना हम इसलिए खा रहे हैं because we want to fuel ourselves. हमारे body, हमारे brain, हम सबको उसको fuel करना. So we need to ensure while during the run, because हमको काफ़ी calories burn होते हैं, तो we need to ensure fueling सही करे. So training में specially करने से क्या होगा? Then you actually grow. Otherwise क्या होगा? You will fatigue होगा शरीर में. So fatigue is like going to a hospital. I mean, you are going to a. I mean, you are actually not improving. So that's one important thing. So so fueling again. I mean, it's a big subject actually to cover it. It's very tough to talk about it in a short span of time. So
I would like to add to it. See, basically winters में हमारे marathons होते हैं, and summers after 2 kilometers you will feel to sip of water, have a sip of water, right? You would also take those fasten up and kind of tablets. So you take it on your own because you feel like it. In winters you don't feel like, but you have to make sure that you keep sipping your hydration every few kilometers. Say for example you are doing a 10-kilometer training today, then ensure that your 500 ml of fluid is consumed. You may not feel like taking it. It usually happens in winters that 5-6 kilometers you have run and you have not taken even a single sip. That actually slows you down. Why? Because you are not taking your fuel. You are not sipping what you have prepared for the day. So keep fueling yourself. That's the most important thing for a good run.
That magnesium you take according to your medical advice?
So there are actually, it's a good question, but there's a specifically for nowadays for sports and all, there are magnesium which are available. So you need to consult your doctor definitely. Yeah. So and then you can actually have. There are very good products which are there in the market now. and which is actually required. Like if you want to have a good sleep, magnesium is a very good product. I mean, magnesium is something which actually helps you get a good sleep, and sleep is again recovery, so which is also very important for your recovery.
Or in general training, or likewise, if you run for 2, 3, 4 kilometers and have just started, then after a race or after running, after how much time you should take something?
So that's a very good question. See, what is normally said is like 30 minutes is your window when you actually finish your run. So like 2-3 kilometers mein itna important nahi hai, but say if you're running 5 kilometers or more, 10 kilometers and more, then within 30 minutes you need to replenish मतलब अपना जो भी fuel, especially protein. So your body actually at that point of time वो consume अच्छा करता है, मतलब that is ready to consume, absorbs a lot. So no, within 30 minutes. Within 30 minutes after you finish up.
Consumption of protein is important within that
30 minutes
to 45 minutes
Yeah.
after the workout.
नहीं, see, I'll tell you, इसमें भी like protein also, as Lihas is also saying, I'm also telling you the same thing. 30 minutes window जो है ना, इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि I go for a chicken kind of thing. मैं chicken खाऊंगा तो 30 minutes से ज़्यादा वो हजम होने में जाएगा. So it is actually not going to help you. So you need to find out protein which actually absorbs fast, and within 30 minutes it goes to your system. So it has to be absorbed because the body is ready to absorb it. So basically that's why we always say you go like Lihas is now promoting one protein powder, I know, which I'm not sure, but there are lots in the market, but you need to analyze which is good for you. You need to have consult a doctor and then take advice from a doctor and then find out which protein is good for you. I always I try to find out which is good. So I normally also, as I said, sometimes I increase my protein intake because of that. So our doctors and all, they after every run, they normally have that protein shake or something like that. So protein is very important. Carbs is also equally important. But it's part of fueling actually. So.
Yeah, so it was a very excellent session about for all the beginners to start off and for the all. So the only one from the experts that every runner who goes for 5K from tomorrow or for their goal or something 10K or to start running, there is a lot of apprehensions in current scenario because of lot of young patients getting heart attack and everything. So as a responsible committee members of a largest running group in ADR, Lihas bhai and Dada always suggest that every endurance activity before you start, you should get it done your basic health checkup. So because everybody, being a doctor, we also know that many a times these diabetes and hypertension and high cholesterol and sugar even, or a lot of uric acid, so many parameters accidentally we found when somebody he came for a annual health checkup for their company. The company is just giving their employees annual health checkup by their protocol, and then we found that a younger guy having 22 year, 25 year, having low calcium or borderline sugar or borderline low density lipoprotein like bad cholesterol, or borderline they may have a borderline hypertension or something like that. So to start or begin with any endurance activity, like in Lihas bhai and Dada both are in the ADR for Ahmedabad distance runner. They are the pioneer of the group, and we all of ADR members have grown up by seeing them running, and all of them. They always insist as a ADR group that for those who are new here or those who want to start, they always insist everybody that whatever the endurance activity you start, you should get it done at least annual health checkup of yours, so you have aware about your parameters, and is anything fine tuning is needed, it will be done. So that's my
Yeah. We always say that listen to your body. This is the most important thing. Listen to your body means if you feel like you are really tired, just stop. Don't go further, because sometimes that helps you in saving your own life. So listening to your own body, it is your own take. Do that whenever you feel like. Sometimes overtraining also is very bad, and people do this overtraining and become a victim of that. So everything is coming to a conclusion is listen to your body. Whenever it says to stop, you need to take a break and do that whenever it is required.
Thank you so much, Lihas bhai and Dada. That was, I'm sure it was a very insightful session for all our listeners. Is the question for Lihas bhai?
I don't know. Today, your all questions are so valid. Sir, do you run? So I would say that I am one person sitting over here who has not trained for anything. In the sense, not trained in the sense the way it should be. Why? Because I started lot of things on my own. That when I did my first half marathon, I did not know how to train about it. When I did my first marathon, I did not know how to train. I just kept on training on my own. I had never had a coach. Never in my life. I did my triathlon for the first time straight away, an Ironman. You have a trainer with you always. Yeah, so being a trainer in the house also, I never taken his advice. He knows it. Because when you have a trainer in the house, you always feel like, theek hai yaar. But yes, I have never taken a proper training for anything, but I have learned on my own mistakes. I do something and then I learn that yes, I would have done it in a different way, I would have done it better. So yeah, but that is not the right thing. Today there are a lot of trainings available and proper trainings are available, meticulous trainings are available. There is a trainer over here, there is a training, as he rightly said that he is not a coach, but he still gives training to a lot of people. So you should have a proper training plan for whatever you attempt. And I firmly believe in that, even if I have not done that way, but I firmly believe in that you should have a training plan for everything and anything. Even for a small distance like 5K, you should have a proper training plan. Then you will go a long way. जो भी आपको करना है उसके लिए ट्रेनिंग प्लान तो होना बहुत ज़रूरी है फॉर एवरीथिंग नॉट ओनली फॉर योर किलोमीटर्स फॉर न्यूट्रिशन फॉर योर स्ट्रेंथ फॉर योर योगा फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी एवरीथिंग and as doctor rightly said that every year once in a year at least you should have a body checkup because post corona we have seen a lot of cases immense number of cases of cardiac arrest and heart failures and whatnot. So diabetes growing rapidly. It is still not known why it is happening, but everything is happening and everywhere. So I think a body checkup is a must.
The kind of shoes, let's keep this the last question. We will be having many more sessions of this sort coming forward, but I agree, I think it is a very valid question. What kind of shoes should we?
I would say a comfortable shoes. Whatever is comfortable to you is the right shoes for you, unless you have a very specific goal. If you are doing a trail run, then there are shoes available for trail. But for a road running, I think whatever is best comfortable to you, you should not have an injury. When you are running in those shoes, you should not have an injury. And there are no kilometers written on the shoes. That's a marketing gimmick. Yeah. You should wear it till you feel that you are able to run in that. If you start, sole ઘસાઈ જાય ને એવું ના થવા દેવું જોઈએ. Probably you might fall by a slip. Sorry, you will slip and fall. But any running shoes of any company which is comfortable to you is the right shoe. I had been a brand ambassador for a very big brand for years together, but I still say that any good shoes which is comfortable to you is the right one.
I just want to add two things here. One is your always ensure, I mean, this is basic thing. You need to ensure एक size बड़ा हो. That is the first most important thing. When you, so you need to, because your feet expand होता है when you are actually running your, so your feet expand. So you need to give that space. तो एक size बड़ा होना चाहिए कभी भी shoes. And second is, what I was trying to say is like, you need to rotate shoes. Like एक shoes, don't keep one shoes with you. I would suggest like even if it is a very ordinary shoes, keep it with you. Go to Decathlon, बहुत कम पैसे में मिल जाएंगे. So you need to have two shoes. What happens is आपका एक when you actually do run with one shoes, तो एक pressure point create होता है. And then if there is an injury, and that injury will actually become bigger and bigger. So when you change the shoes next day, that if you feel कि मेरे को लग रहा है कुछ injury होने का chance लग रहा है, and then मेरे को landing से कुछ लग रहा है, change the shoes next day. You will, the pressure point will change, automatically the chances of injury also will reduce. Again, two things, size एक बड़ा होना चाहिए. As you said, any brand is okay. My ordinary shoes are very ordinary. So I mean, it फट जाता है, ऐसा तो हो जाता है मेरा जूते. So but that's not important. Important is size बड़ा होना चाहिए, one size bigger, and you need to rotate. Within a week अगर 3-4 दिन दौड़ रहे तो you need to rotate with 2 shoes at least.
I think till the time it does not create blisters and start shoe biting, that is the time till, and of course till if you should not slip in the shoe and आखा सोल ना घसाई जावा જોઈએ. Thank you so much. That was a very, very insightful session. Thank you so much, audience. So thank you so much for your time, Lihas bhai and Dada. It was absolutely enlightening for most of us today. Thank you.